What's good, guys? Welcome back to another video. The Bitcoin trade setup yesterday, I really hope you guys took it because that was an absolute banger, right? Price just, like I told you guys, the momentum traded higher. That's exactly what happened. Now, to you guys who are following me on Twitter, you would have seen that I shared an idea on oil and Australian dollar on Twitter. Now, those ended up being a loss, but win rate absolutely does not matter when the size of your wins are that much bigger compared to your losses, because yesterday I took an oil trade, just like what I shared to you here on YouTube as well as Twitter, and kaboom, just passed well, at the moment, this is the first phase of a two-step challenge, but still is a step in the right direction. But outside of that, we break down the intraday setup to Bitcoin, as well as a couple of other setups on Forex that I'm seeing at the moment, because and one thing's for sure, the overall market has been, at least based on a preliminary analysis during the London session, it's not looking absolutely fantastic. So even with Forex, there's really only going to be a couple of core ideas that I'm going to be sharing here. But first things first, Bitcoin, we have a bullish daily bias, so we're definitely going to be looking for longs today. But the problem becomes the fact that in terms of the 1 hourly chart, you are most definitely showing signs of you just literally, the hourly order flow is bearish at the moment. And so this is not ideal for when we are looking for longs. Earlier on, in the video that I made for the Blueprint members, usually I do make an early kind of trade analysis video. I basically said that, okay, that hourly CISB needed to happen. So far, it's not really happening. If anything, it's kind of breaking lower towards the downside. Now, as for where this could be heading is, that over here you have a fair bit of gap, and could price, potentially bounce after hitting the fair bit of gap? Well, yes, potentially, but that is also just an idea that we might have about the market. So the ideal thing to do here is to let the markets let Bitcoin tap into the fair bit of gap. And then you really do need to see that hourly changes state in delivery on the hourly chart. Otherwise, don't get into any longs, because so far in terms of the 1 hourly, it is looking incredibly bearish, and that is not the type of price action that you want to be longing in, because in this case you're just literally buying into a market that is falling. And if the market is going to fall, then you may as well take advantage, or rather wait until you can have an opportunity to actually follow the trend, right, and to sell low and then buy back lower. But at the moment, we're not looking for a short when it comes to Bitcoin. So in that case, just remain patient, and that is the only possible setup on Bitcoin, at least for today. But this is the power of having access to Forex, which is the fact that we have other opportunities when Bitcoin is deciding to, just do nothing. So right now, let's take a look at Euro. So far, we have a bearish daily bias. Today, we had Euro news, and after the Euro news, basically price retrace into this hourly PD array, super clean, yeah, absolutely. And then at 3:30 a.m. New York time, we had Euro news, and ever since then, you got that CISD. I've already gotten into the setup. Again, if you're in Blueprint, you should have seen the video. But otherwise, so far it's already bearish. So you're literally just looking for new PD arrays and new fair bit of gaps and whatnot to basically trade the markets lower. And in terms of the intraday target for today, I'm going to be targeting, my personal target is going to be about 35 pips away, so at 1666. So that is going to be the setup on Euro. Nasdaq is looking pretty sketchy. You just hit new all-time highs, so it's very normal for the market to just kind of distribute, and that is not the ideal conditions that you want to be trading in. With gold as well, I see that the daily bias is bullish, but at the same time the hourly chart is kind of breaking down, and because of that, I tried to get into a short earlier. Ultimately did not work out though, barely got stopped out, and right now it's up into profit. But still, now that the CISDs happened, then this will be going against the daily bias, but which is why this wouldn't be the best trade. So I'm going to try to avoid this and just focus more of my attention on Euro. But if price starts looking good, this is going to be worthwhile for a half risk trade. And the reason why it's half risk is because again, daily bias is bullish, but in terms of the 1 hourly chart, it's already breaking lower. The nail in the coffin for me though, to actually confirm this, is if we get an hourly CISD below 4,700, basically. If we do get that, then yeah, absolutely, that kind of tells you where the market's heading. But until that happens, I'm just going to play it safe. And even if I do get into the trade once the CISD happens, it's going to be half risk, because we don't have time frame alignment in this case, which for those of you that are new to the channel, basically we use 3 time frames in the system, right? The daily, the 1 hourly, and the 5 minute. And before we dive into any trades, we ideally want all 3 time frames to be pointing in the same direction. In this case, the daily is pointing up, but the hourly is pointing down. And so likely, if we do take a short, then a minute will also be pointing down. So we have 2 time frames aligned, 1 not. So that is, no time frame alignment. And when that condition is out of whack, it doesn't mean that it is completely untradeable. It just means that we're going to play it a little bit safe and to wait for either more confirmations or to go half risk on any trades that we do take. Now, what is even more clean? Oh, well, take a look at oil, bullish daily buys. So far on the 1 hourly chart, you are looking bullish as well. You came back into this bullish order block. So far, you've even formed a new order block. So right now, right here, oil's already looking good for some sort of a trade. And in terms of the 5 minute, like, yeah, you're just coming back into a really good state. So yeah, oil is just going to be looking for another new long today. In fact, I am going to be taking this trade right after I finish recording this video. And finally, I think we're going to finish off with, if I'm not mistaken, not Australian dollar. I think it was USD Canadian. Was it USD Canadian? Yeah. Basically, that's the 2 setups that I have, actually. Yeah, the 3 setups, right? Bitcoin, which is kind of looking iffy, to be honest. So I think the moneymaker for today, like if I had to focus on 2 setups for today, it would be euro and oil with gold. Yeah, I believe it was gold when I was talking about it. Yeah, with gold being kind of like an option number 3 in case, you know, euro and oil doesn't play out. But euro and oil would definitely be my go-tos. I'm already in a trade on euro and I'm going to be getting into a trade on oil very shortly. Probably not now because we're kind of outside of a kill zone. So I'll probably wait closer to New York. But any updates, I'll definitely post it on the X. Although, just a heads up, I do have a Blueprint live trading call later. Basically, we're going to live trade together with all of the Duke guys and girls. So if I do end up not posting anything to Twitter, just understand that I have a live trading call going on. I can't be splitting my attention in, you know, every social media platform. But otherwise, I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video, and ciao, ciao.